Hey everybody. I woke up this morning to a message from my friend Jack Saint who said to me, You got called out for failing to help young men. That was the message. And it was a link to a video from the very large YouTube channel, Adam Something, where he talks about me and talks about how people like me, presumably not just me, I haven't seen the video yet, people like me are failing to help young men, and we're throwing people into the clutches of people like Andrew Tate. And this is kind of a first for me. It's not super often that a person, particularly a person on the left, will go through the work of writing and editing and recording a video where they disagree with me, and I think that's pretty cool. I like that. I like the idea of that. So what I'm going to do now, I haven't seen the whole video. I've seen a few minutes of it, but I haven't seen the whole video. I'm just going to walk through the whole video. I'm going to react to it. I'm going to give my thoughts. So let's get into it. Let's get into Adam Something's video. Andrew Tate is the left's fault. Here's why.
Around the year 2016, I was a disaffected gamer bro. I considered myself to be a classical liberal. I hated those cringe feminists.
Okay, so he starts off the video explaining that he used to be a bit of a chud. He used to laugh at feminists and stuff, but then he became dark woke.
Fast forward to 2025, and most of those classical liberal types I used to listen to have become white nationalists. I, on the other hand, have chosen a different path and became dark woke.
Which means that he is, I guess he's normal. I guess dark woke is normal. He likes... One second, let me see what dark woke means.
I'm a progressive. I am pro-LGBT, I am pro-feminism, and I laugh at Big Red, I laugh at Triglipuff, and I laugh at Humongous.
Okay, so dark woke then means that he's a feminist and stuff, but he still gets mad at, like, feminists who he thinks are stupid or something. Okay, we're skipping forward here to him talking about the subject of this video, which is dating advice, and that seems to be where I jump into the picture.
I was doing something which sometimes worked and sometimes didn't, but I wanted consistent results. I didn't just want to sleepwalk through my dating life and hope to stumble upon someone good.
He was doing okay dating, he was doing fine, he was finding girls that liked him or whatever, but he wanted to quantify it in some way. I'm not really sure. Like, he wanted to break through the system, understand the matrix. He wanted to figure out the ins and outs of dating, and that's where the problems sort of begin, I suppose.
Both the left and the right offered dating advice, and so I first asked around in lefty circles, hey, how do I score a good girlfriend? Actually, the term scored is deeply problematic because it presupposes that the woman is just an object. Okay, fine, forget I said anything. Meanwhile, on the right, dating advice was essentially variations on Andrew Tate type boomer conservative BS.
Okay, so the point that he's getting at here is that the left gives bad dating advice because all they do is scold men, which I don't know. Do I scold men on wanting girlfriends? I didn't know that I did that. If I did that, then I am sorry. And then he also says that the right gives bad dating advice because it's all macho, stupid, empty, vapid bullshit, which I do agree with. To whatever extent the right gives dating advice that's like right coded or whatever, usually it's pretty unhelpful and it's just saying, like, be a dude, be a man, get ladies, right? That's all they say, for the most part.
Okay, to be fair, there was more to the left than people just, woke scolding you about the problematic words that you're using. Some people did give you genuine dating advice. Too bad it was all terrible.
Oh, okay. So he's not saying that I just scolded men that wanted girlfriends. He's not saying that. Rather, he's saying that I did give dating advice to young men, but that it was bad advice. I give shitty, bad advice. So, and this is really the beginning of my interaction with the video. I give bad dating advice. So let's see it. I don't really think that self-help online advice is all that helpful to people because I think you already know all the advice that anybody on the internet could possibly tell you. Young men, do things that are good, in your opinion. Do things that you think are good. I don't imagine that I have a better answer for what those things are than you do. You know yourself, but, of course, you know what those things are. So wait, can I just say something? That's not me giving men advice, right? That's very much not an example of me giving young men bad advice. That's me giving men the opinion that I don't think that I have advice to give them. That's not advice. And I want to defend my kind of anti-advice position here because I understand that that's probably the most tendentious part of what I'm saying and probably the thing that he's responding to. So the problem with advice on the internet, particularly very broad advice, like how to find a girl that you like, the problem with that is that most things in this world that are worth doing are a lot easier to say than they are to do. Most of us, I think, are aware of the fact that if we want, great dating options, that we should try to be as sexy as possible, which means, maybe doing some lifting or losing some weight. I don't know. Most people know that if you want to meet people, the better option is to put yourself out there over not putting yourself out there. Most people know that putting your own life in order and doing things that are good for your body and your soul and your passion and your love, these are the things you ought to pursue in life. The thing is, all of those ideas are really easy to say, and the actual doing of them is the hard part. The day in, day out commitment to bettering yourself as a person, putting yourself out there, approaching the girls you want to date, shooting your shot. These are ideas that are obviously advisable, and I guess I'm giving you the advice to do them. But at the end of the day, after I've said that advice, after I've said the advice, go out and do these things that are good for you, work out, groom yourself, put yourself out there, then my role as an advice giver is kind of inherently done. And what's left is you reckoning with yourself. And that's something that people on the internet, people giving dating advice, they just can't really offer you that well. I don't know you. Adam Something doesn't know you. Okay, we can't speak to the particular needs that you have. We can't speak to the particular issues that you have, finding the things that you need in the world, because that stuff is particular to you. This is the problem with something like online dating advice. A lot of it is fine. A lot of it says stuff that's obvious to you, and I'm sure it can be helpful if you haven't heard it before. But at the end of the day, the real meat and potatoes of living, it belongs only to you. It can only belong to you. And most people on the internet who make money off of giving you advice aren't actually helping you that much to achieve the goals you want to achieve, because they don't know you. And to be clear, you can disagree with my opinion on this. That's fine. It's totally fine. If you find people on the internet giving you really wonderful advice and you think it's useful to you, that's fucking great. That's great for you. But my point is that the self-help economy broadly, the economy around telling men that we can tell you things that will make it so much easier for you to find loved ones, because the problem is a knowledge problem. They're selling you something. They're literally selling you something. Because the problem, for the most part, especially after a certain point, is not a knowledge problem. It's an action problem. It's a motivation problem. It's a wrestling with your soul problem. That's my opinion. Anyway, he plays another clip of me now, so let's watch that. This video is not my way of saying that all advice on the internet is bad, and that the people who are giving it are all grifting you, and that there's no place for it. I don't believe that. I just think it's an extremely small part of a network with things that are vastly, vastly more important than it. The amount of impact that some guy on the internet will have on your life when they give you advice on how to get motivated or whatever is, I think, fairly small in the grand scheme of things, and that's my point.
Wow. I'm sorry, I like Big Joel, I like his videos, but this type of stuff does not help anyone.
Unfortunately for all of us, I do agree with what I said in that video. Like, I can't take it back. Like as I said, I'm not against all advice. I'm not saying that everyone who gives any advice is stupid. I'm sure that a lot of value has been gotten from looking up on WikiHow, how to get a girl, or like how to know if a girl likes you or whatever the fuck. Like, I'm sure that this has happened a lot. I'm not trying to take that away from anybody. But at the end of the day, yeah, if somebody is spending their time giving you advice and like coming up with like a corpus of advice to give you, and it's like long and it involves you giving them money in some capacity, yeah, it's probably not going to be that helpful, right? Because there's not that much really, really good advice that a person on the internet is going to give you. I also do frankly think it's a bit odd that he put up all those headlines of like all the men flocking to Andrew Tate over me saying that. Because at the end of the day, I don't think I can give you very meaningful dating advice. I don't think that there is such an online person who's going to give you sort of earth-shattering dating advice. And I don't think Andrew Tate does either. And to be honest with you, I don't even think that's what Andrew Tate is trying to do. If you ever watch Andrew Tate's streams, if you ever like see the things he says, even the things he says about finding a girl, they're not like valuable information that you can like put into practice and which will change your world. I fundamentally reject the hypothesis that the reason why Andrew Tate is popular is because men are just desperate to find dating advice and they can't find it anywhere besides Andrew Tate, because Andrew Tate is not offering like pearls of wisdom. He's just saying like, yeah, get strong, get stronger. Do strong stuff.
Actually, I don't care how you get it, but how should a guy get a girl?
Oh, how should a guy get a girl
So
in general?
you're not talking-
There's a really long answer to give there, but truthfully, It doesn't matter if it's getting a girl or it's making money or it's getting status. It doesn't matter what it is. As a man, we live in hyper-competitive environments. I don't think enough men understand how competitive the world is. If you want a girl, you're competing against other men. You're not the only man who had the idea of getting that girl. There's no girl you're going to see and go, oh, I'll get that girl, and didn't cross anyone else's mind. Everybody else wants her. You have to outcompete other men. You have to be as competitive as possible.
Because of this, I want to make the argument that the reason why Andrew Tate is, or really was popular, I don't know if he's as popular anymore, but the reason he was popular isn't because he gave advice, but because of the far simpler reason they like him. They like the things he says. Andrew Tate entertains people. He gives them an ideological project that they enjoy and that they find entertaining. This is the reason why young men are flocking to Andrew Tate. It's because they like him. And I feel like there's this constant refusal to reckon with this fact. There's this constant need to pretend that what's missing from the internet is dating advice, and that if we simply had enough of a scaffolding of dating advice, nobody would be interested in Andrew Tate. No, Andrew Tate is not offering dating advice. Andrew Tate is offering his lifestyle. He is offering spectacle. He's offering, in a certain sense, good videos, entertaining videos. So why would the solution to the problem be give really specific dating advice? That's not what Andrew Tate does. Do you see what I mean?
Wow. I'm sorry, I like Big Joel, I like his videos, but this type of stuff does not help anyone. It's like your house is on fire and you're locked inside with a fire extinguisher and you're like, oh shit, what do I do? How do I use this thing? And Joel is like, I think you should first consider that the fire is just a natural exothermic reaction which will go out at some point. You know, the fire will stop at some point. So I wouldn't really worry about this long term. I think you should look inside and figure out what feels like the best course of action in this situation.
Okay, that's just not at all what I'm saying. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying the fire will just put itself out. You don't need to worry about the fire. You shouldn't even want advice. You shouldn't even care about trying to make your life better. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying really is that for the most part, and I'm sure that sometimes advice is good, but for the most part, you are in your house and it's burning down and you have a fire extinguisher and you probably have a pretty good idea of how it works. And the problem is that me on the internet, I can't come into your house and give you really specific instructions on how to use the fire extinguisher. You're the one who owns it. And that most of the advice that fire extinguisher instruction manual sellers give, you know it. Hey, just adding something in the edit. Jesus, it's so bright inside my home now. I guess looking at what he's saying here, I just can't help but feeling, a bit disappointed by it. This title for this video, "The Left is Responsible for Young Men Going to Andrew Tate." It's so ambitious, but he's not really saying that I do that or arguing that I do these harms or drag men to Andrew Tate. It doesn't feel like he's looking at Andrew Tate or at the mechanics that would make people like him. It just doesn't really feel like he's paying attention to the material, really explaining how Andrew Tate ensnares people, what Andrew Tate's doing specifically, what sort of content the left should be making, right? And explaining how the left doing that would work. I guess I just expected more explanation, more citation in this video, which is ostensibly about how people end up falling for right-wing grifters. I don't know. So I want to skip forward a little bit now because in the second half of this video, Adam Something starts giving dating advice. He starts just giving normal dating advice to his audience. So let's just watch 30 seconds of it. I don't know.
Okay, so what's needed on your end for girls to find you attractive, meaning 51 or above? Do you need to be a 2-meter tall, 90-degree square jaw mewing champion ripped gigachad with 2% body fat? No, absolutely not. Because attraction is subjective and unpredictable. Some girls will just find you attractive for whatever strange reason. Don't question it, don't investigate it, just be glad about it. As long as you look healthy, look clean, and dress okay, if you do it in person, you just walk up to them and strike up a conversation. Make sure to have something in common first. Attending the same event, doing the same thing, that sort of stuff. Simply make sure that in that situation, striking up a conversation is socially acceptable. So have a lighthearted conversation, and if you think it goes well, meaning she's engaged in it, not just yes or no answers, then you ask for her phone number.
Okay, I'm not going to watch all 9 minutes of this dating advice, but what I'm seeing here for now in the first minute, maybe he gets to more sage places. I'm not saying he's giving stupid advice, but what I'm seeing now in the first 2 minutes of his dating advice offering is look clean, healthy, well-groomed. If girls seem to like you, you should, shoot your shot, talk to them. Ask women for their phone number if you like them. Go to events where people will be. Just sort of, give it your all.
For online dating, you need photos and maybe a bio. Your photos will do 99% of the work, with your bio counting for about 1%. On your photos, you should be clean, smiling, well-dressed.
And that's great. I'm not trying to be dismissive. I'm not trying to say that that's stupid advice. I'm not trying to say that nobody would benefit from that advice. I do think that advice exists on the internet right now. I do think this is not different from WikiHow advice that you could just find on the internet in 10 seconds. I don't think that people desperately wanting for this advice are finding themselves in the clutches of Andrew Tate, because I think this advice is just sort of well known and that it's available to people. That's my opinion. And can I just say that I find the entire project of this video a little disingenuous. And let me explain what I mean. That sounds a little mean, but let me explain what I'm saying with that. Adam Something will come on the internet and say, what we really need is leftists to give dating advice to guys. That's what we need. And if we gave enough dating advice to guys, maybe then they wouldn't like Andrew Tate as much as they do. But if that's really true, if that's really the case, okay, practically, then why was the first 9 minutes of this video an argument against me? Why is it that the dating advice on its face was not entertaining or interesting enough for your male audience that we needed to first rebut some guy saying that dating advice wasn't helpful? What was the point of that, right? And I'll tell you what the point is. I'll tell you what I think the point is. This dating advice is boring. It's boring to hear it, and nobody wants to read it or watch it. People are not that invested in it because they know it. They know it. They can look it up. They know it. What's interesting is hot takes. What's interesting is disagreeing with people. What's interesting is saying that, I give stinky takes. There are so many takes like this Adam Something video, like an incalculable number of takes about how what the left needs to provide is more and better dating advice. I've seen this take like 1,000 billion times, okay? And yet, for whatever reason, it always seems to just stop there. They make the take, they say that the left has this inadequacy, and then they don't, do the thing. But the problem with young men is really that pretty boring dating advice isn't accessible enough to them. Then why wouldn't providing it be on its face interesting enough? And it's not interesting enough. If you cut the first 9 minutes off of this video where you responded to me and just made a video called, here's some ideas I have for how to find a girlfriend, it would get like 10,000 views? Realistically, how many people would care? What I'm trying to get at here is that genuinely, I don't believe I am leading men to Andrew Tate. I don't think my opinions on advice are leading men to Andrew Tate. I don't think the fact that I don't offer tons of dating advice is leading men to Andrew Tate. Giving men normal advice on how to date women, it will not answer the problem that is Andrew Tate, because Andrew Tate is not appealing because young men think, when they watch him, wow, this guy gives outrageous advice. If I do what this guy says, I can do it all. That's not the thing that's happening. Anyway, that's my take. Agree or disagree, that's totally fine. Adam, genuinely a challenge to you. Start making a dating advice channel and see how it goes, If there's such a market for this, if that's so appealing to people, then cash in. If this is something that doesn't already exist and that people would find interesting and that could scrape audience members from Andrew Tate, then you should do it. You should make the dating advice channel. You should make your channel devoted to dating advice, and you should see how well your channel does when you do that. I genuinely feel that way. And to all of you, if you disagree with me, that's fine. As long as we can hold each other, that's what counts.